Melissa, you've got some old photos of the fire engines pulled out right there with the trucks on William Street. I know you did, but,
Yeah, I think town hall is pretty charming, so let's just keep it as minimal as possible. It's care of.
we appreciate it. Anyone else that would like to address the mayor and council regarding motion 2025-61? Yes. Melissa, just name and street name, please.
Melissa Reed, I live at Broad Street in Berlin. And I just had a sort of a quick reiteration to sort of piggyback on what Steve, Mr. Green, and Mr. Orst also said. I know that we've come before you, Lisa Challenger on Beach to Bays, and myself as Taylor House Museum, discussing the whole Welcome Center building. And so when I also had concerns just tonight looking at that space, and it was labeled as a Welcome Center, because my understanding is we were putting a pin in that while while Beach to Bays was looking at ways to fund the different things that we were talking about for the Welcome Center. So just want to reiterate my concern. We were asked to wait and come back to you all, not now, about this. So I just want to make sure that that Welcome Center piece, when I'm looking at that, looks like that's a done deal. And from what I understand, that was more of an in-process thing. So I'm just kind of checking on
So
that.
thank you for sending over the funding information. I appreciate that. That's what we had asked for, and it looks great. I think when we have that conversation, it's going to be an important component. The Welcome Center label on the annex building has always been there. And for staff planning purposes, it will likely continue to remain on at least our working documents. When we had a conversation, it was regarding the holding or selling of the building, and the goal and what I understood was a potential repurposing as, and I think it even is consistent with some of the financials you sent over, like telling the story of Beta Beach, telling additional stories of our town history, was never, in my understanding of our conversation, designed to be a welcome center as much as another historical aspect of telling Berlin's story. And I remain committed to that conversation.
Yeah, and I think originally the belief was and the wish was that it stay as a welcome center. But if that was not an option, then to make it a bit of a hybrid welcome center and an interpretive space that used various local museum exhibits and things like that. But I felt like it was worth reiterating because it has come up that we understood that was to be an in-process discussion.
I think we may disagree on that a little bit, but I appreciate your perspective, and I still am open to the conversation about how the town maybe can hold that building and continue to enhance the history side of things, and the financials you send over are great. If you ever want to have an offline discussion about like staff and things of that nature that are rooted in my decision, I'm happy to have that conversation.
Yeah, sure. I think once I know that Lisa will just send you guys a letter, so we'll definitely make sure that we circle back around again. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments regarding motion 2025-61? Okay. Seek action from the council, if you don't mind, on the bidding document.
Well, before we, Mayor, I just want to say respectfully, I remembering that conversation and meeting about the Welcome Center a little differently. And as I respect you as the mayor, you said it was your decision. And I really think that the council has a say.
I'm not arguing that you don't.
Fair enough, but the way that that came off right there was, you just said my decision. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same team here. And although I don't recall that conversation the same, I really think that we should, as a group, have that conversation again.
So thank you. I don't always get it right. But when I say the word my decision as far as staff, right, what I'm trying to explain is that from a interaction with staff on a day-to-day basis, a workflow improvement, servicing the community, that's where I implied the word my, and not intending to slight or negate the council's responsibility there. So I apologize for that, if it was received that way.
Thank you.
All right, can we get a vote?
So I'll make a motion to approve 2025-61, providing that the discussion for the location of the visitor center is still open.
Yeah, on the bidding documents, keep in mind, it doesn't say Welcome Center for the folks that are going to be bidding, it says Annex.
I understand, but I
Just for the
want
public.
to be able to come back for a hearing.
That's fine, fair enough. All right, so I have a motion by Councilmember Nur,
A second.
second by Councilmember Green. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Let the record reflect the motion 2025-61 passes unanimously. Thank you, and thank you for the public comment. All right.
Just to note, for the record, unanimous with the council members who
Yes,
are present. We
correct.
have one council member absent.
Correct.
Just for
I just didn't want to have to state the
Yes,
absence.
no,
every
no,
time.
yeah.
So, yes, Councilmember Nichols is still not with us at the meeting. Motion, or yes, 4B, motion 2025-62, motion for award of contract for the comprehensive plan update. Town Administrator Mary Boland's going to run point with our acting planning director, Ryan Hardesty. And then, do I see?
We have folks here from Meeting.
Yes, but I was looking for Austin and Eric, weren't they? maybe
They
gonna
were
join
asked
us?
to attend, yes.
I thought they said they were coming as well. And I also want to thank, I believe, our council members that were present on this discussion were Councilmember Green and Horace, correct? So thank you both for your work in helping to craft and then also review the comprehensive plan submissions. So we'll open it up. Mary, if you want to call Meeting Hunt forward first, or if you want to kind of discuss your pathway to getting here.
There was a staff report included in the council packet that kind of describes the process. To sort of sum it up without rereading the whole thing, the town is required to review, not just Berlin, every town is required to review their comprehensive plan at least every 10 years. Our comp plan was originally done or significantly updated in 2010. I was not part of that process, so I can't really speak to it with any intelligence. Then in 2020, it was reviewed without change. However, it has been noted through a number of conversations, planning commission members, members of the public, developers, mayor and council, that our comp plan probably needs significant review. So I very wisely, during the town hall renovation, decided to take this project on, and that is what we are here tonight to present. Meeting Hunt was the successful submitter as recommended by the review committee. I want to say we had 8 initial submitters, and through a process of review of their submissions, interviews, second kind of callbacks, we arrived at Meeting Hunt as the recommended firm.
Do we want to bring them forward or just in the event of questions?
Either way, I think they can come
you
forward,
want-
certainly,
yep,
if
just
there
come
are
forward.
questions.
Go ahead and come forward.
Maybe they're not.
No, maybe not.
Okay.
Okay.
Present.
All right, it's all good. So then let's open it up to any feedback from Councilmember Horace or Green.
I'll go first. Yes, the process was, it was pretty extensive, I'd say. We had 2 4-hour meetings to review our 4 finalists. I think the thing about this process that was so important to me was there's a couple pieces to it. We have engagement and education. I think we need to, as council members too, to educate ourselves on how important this process is, how important the comp plan is to our planning department, to our planning commission, for future developers that will be coming in, that they have some indication of what we stand for as a town and what we're looking for. So it's the education to realize, for citizens to realize also they're part of the process, because engagement is important. Similar to the strategic plan process, I'll speak for myself on that. It's very important to me that we have a lot of meetings, a lot of engagement. There's a lot of opportunity. Citizens will have a survey. They'll also have plenty of opportunities to weigh in along the way. One thing for Meeting Hunt that separated that I really liked was a story map website that will be updated in phases. It'll be a separate website that the town doesn't have to maintain. It's very important to us. They will lead this website. They will update it as the process goes along. It's very interactive. They sent us examples of those. So we had a lot of great responses, and they were most of them within our budget. It's budgeted at $100,000. These guys are, the chosen firm is right at that. So I was really happy with the process. I learned a lot. I'm really looking forward to getting ball rolling here on a much-needed process.
Okay. Councilman Lawrence?
Well, it's hard to follow the journalist here. But, yeah, I mean, Councilmember Green hit some good points. The other thing that it was tough for me to decide. I mean, these were great submissions and great dialogue back and forth, but along with the website and the engagement that is scheduled, which is going to be very important for everyone to pay attention to and be involved, I'm going to do that plug now. But also with this particular group, there are some local connections, and I think that's also important as well. Folks who just have a little bit of a closer relationship, if you will, being residents of the town. So I think that was a plus in my book. But everybody was a great submission, and it did make it very tough, at least for me to narrow it down to one. So I'm looking forward to getting going as well.
Ryan, anything you want to add?
No, I agree. I think the final two applicants, it was a hard choice to decide. It was a good experience. I think we picked the best one in relation to, like you guys were saying, the app online, and then just the whole community engagement thing. I think we picked a good company.
And they've done, I think they just finished up part of the rail, Patty was talking about meeting Hunt quite a bit.
Bikeways, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Greenway plan.
Yep, the Greenway and Trail Master Plan. So from the public feedback perspective, I think that what we've understood working with them, that they're very receptive. So good. All right, anything else before we take it to the public? Okay, anyone that would like to address the mayor and council regarding motion 2025-62, may do so at this time. Okay, seeing none, we'll take action by the council.
I'll make a motion that we, okay. All right.
Should we do that?
Well, I don't know. I'm doing it. Make a motion to
It
approve
doesn't.
2025-62, the award of the contract for the comp plan update to Lead and Hunt.
So motion by Councilmember Orris, a second by Councilmember Nur. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Let the record reflect that the vote's unanimous with Councilmember Nichols absent. Up next is agenda item 4C, motion 2025-63. That's a land swap agreement. It has myself and Emily from EMK Law running point, and Emily also serves as our planning and legal counsel. You'll see in the packet, starting on page 61. Emily, you want to come forward?
Yeah, I was checking on.
Yep, go ahead. And then we have the land swap agreement. I'm going to turn this over to Emily really.
Do you want me to introduce myself?
Go ahead.
I'm Emily Morris for EKM Law. Providing support to the town, as you're saying, for the planning and zoning, and also.
Can you move your mic over, please?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Is that better?
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
So I'm providing legal support on things with land use and real estate involved, and this is one of the things that I've been working on. This is part of the parcel 57 disposition. We had agreed with the developer, Paul Margillis, that if he could get the adjacent property owner of what's called the Cropper parcel, which is actually owned by Mr. and Mrs. Parks, to agree to allow us to use what was the access easement that was to the property behind, it's also owned by the town, to be utilized for an access road. We would allow for the road to be shifted over, and so Paul Margillis had additional developable space. And it's my understanding, I didn't negotiate the business terms as far as the compensation, but my understanding is, Mayor, you agreed to about $9,000 in exchange for the access easement fee to be given to the town in exchange for a sliver of parcel behind what is now known as Cropper towing to be conveyed to the parks.
That is correct, and I want to just read this for the group. The justification for that, so regarding the valuation of the, and you can see this on page, I just had it pulled up.
What do you mean, page 2 of the agreement?
Well, page 69 of the packet, you'll see that there's the portion to the left of where the road is, portion to the left of what is Cropper's parcel, owned by the parks, has the easement to the left, and then the rear portion is the land that is the swap, right? And
Yeah, that's correct.
For the valuation, I'm going to read, this is Mr. Gillis' justification for it, which I think is pretty sound, but open for adjustment by this body, of course, and we've reiterated that to him. Regarding the valuation of the 4,250 square feet of land that we were asking the town to adjust the property line of, the appraised value of parcel 57 in August of 2023 was $1.2 million. The valuation was for the land totally cleared and free of environmental concerns. That being said, parcel 57 is 9.35 acres, or approximately 410,000 square feet. To equate to the valuation, you would need to reduce the value of the cost of clearing the remodeled or remaining buildings and site structures. For discussion purposes, let's guess at $600,000 for demolition. Now that we all know what demolition costs really are, this leaves the value of the land as appraised at $600,000 when you take away the cost to remove the structures to get the appraised value. We divide the 410,000 square feet, equaling $1.46 per square foot for the land value. For the 4,250 square feet of land, the value is $6,220. Arguing against myself, the value could be considered at $1.2 million divided by 410,000 square feet of land, equaling $3 per square foot for the land value. So then you take the 4,250 times $3 per square foot, you end up at $12,750. In conclusion, the value ranges between $6,220 to $12,750. Splitting the difference, the value is $9,485. In any case, the value is something that we will need to agree upon. So I think we put, what
Was
value?
that $9,485,000?
But with the caveat that it is open to the council, and I've read you the information that I have.
And
So-
all of this agreement is subject to council approval and will not be going forward without your approval.
Right. All
And
right, so
if the council doesn't approve it, then the land agreement that we have with Palmer Gillis will be that the road stays where it is.
And that may be and it is built in that way, that
Yes.
the applicant or the buyer has the ability to exit the agreement, I think.
Exactly,
with
yes,
that.
this is, if Palmer decides that this is not acceptable to him, if you turn this down, then he can walk away and the deal terminates.
Are you here for
Mr.
this?
Gillis. And Mr. Cropper is here to represent Mr. Gillis.
I didn't know if you were maybe here for, I think we're moving outsourcing utilities, printing bills. I didn't know if you were here for that or for this.
If
So-
Mr. Gillis isn't here, he's out of town.
It's okay, if that's why he's here.
Yeah.
So just for the record, Mark Spencer Cropper, 6200 Coastal Highway, Suite 200, Ocean City, Maryland. I am here for Mr. and Mrs. Gills, technically Coastal Venture Property LLC, and I agree with everything that Emily has represented to you this evening. I have reviewed the agreement with the Gillises, the manner in which the valuation was calculated. I also agree with how you explained it, Mr. Mayor. So obviously, the Gillises would very much appreciate this being endorsed by the council this evening, so everybody can move forward with the project. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's open to the council.
Mark, can you explain the need for why we need to move this road? Palmer explained to me that it opens up a pinch point, so he can have a more circular traffic pattern.
It all has to do with making the ingress and egress into the project, in his opinion, as very experienced developer, it improves it for not only himself, but as well as those that will be visiting the site. He thinks it will largely improve how that occurs, and that's why he has sought this particular land swap, actually from the very beginning with the parks.
Keeping in mind that the town, through this land swap, and correct me, either one of you, I believe it doesn't change the entrances that currently exist. We still utilize the easement that's there right now to access like recycling and that
Yeah, and the
old grain
access-
building.
The access road is where it is now. Like, basically, you're codifying it to
It
be
cleans it
exactly
up.
where it is. But it's also, and I believe Mary could speak better to this, but this is a critical issue for the town because the road needs to be actually located in order for the DPW facility to move forward.
Right,
That's
Public
right.
work.
Yeah.
we're kind of struggling with that.
And that's what I was gonna say, this is,
Yeah.
in my opinion, this is just makes sense, and this is when win-win-win. Well, maybe not so much for Coastal Ventures has to pay,
But in the process, they get
process,
more usable.
yeah.
Yes.
They get that, and we have the access that we need for the future skate park and DPW.
Correct.
I would agree, it's a win-win for everybody, and Mr. Gills is paying the cost, so.
We are okay with that as well. I mean, like, so far, like, I mean, everything that's presented, we're okay with.
Yeah, and they're still, Mr. Gillis is still responsible for all of the, like, curb cuts and things that are involved into his property and into the park's property as well.
Which is specified in the agreement.
It is specified in the agreements.
Now, this is not signed by the parks, but we do have every indication that they are willing, they just are out of the country.
Yes,
So-
Mr. Parks emailed and said he was out of the country until the end of November, but as soon as he comes back into town, he's more than happy to sign it in person.
And as are the Gills, as soon as they return.
All right. Anything else from the council? Okay. Seeing none, we'll open it up to the public regarding motion 2025-63. Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll take action by the council.
Motion to approve 2025-63.
So I have a motion by Councilmember Merritt. Second by Councilmember Wards. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, let the record reflect that the vote is unanimous with Councilmember
Thank you.
Nichols absent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Up next is agenda item 4D, and that's motion 2025-64, approving the valve replacement invoice for payment from Water Resources. There should be a staff report in there as well, right?
Yes, we provided a staff report today, unfortunately was not able to attend this evening. Long and short of it is this was an additional, sorry, I've lost my place. Additional emergency valve replacement that he experienced and is asking for retroactive approval. It was one of those situations where he had to move forward, but once it on the record.
This was due to the emergency on Franklin. No, this is at the treatment.
Yeah, this is correct.
Treatment.
Sorry, I was out last week. I'm kind of catching up a little bit myself. Kate, can you provide,
Mayor, that's not
Okay.
Franklin Avenue.
Yeah.
sorry,
That's not the
That's not
Franklin
Franklin.
Avenue.
it's not right, this was at the plant, correct? Yes, that's what I thought. This was actually at the wastewater.
So do we have any discussion by the council? Do we have any discussion by the public? Is there anyone from the public that would like to add to this?
Wyatt?
It is Wyatt.
Any question from the public? Any question from the council?
So motion to approve 2025-64.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Green, second by Vice President Burrell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And let the record reflect that the vote is unanimous with Councilmember Nichols absent. Motion 2025-64 passes.
Great job.
Thank you. That's so much. Up next is agenda item 40. Motion 2025-65, approving outsourced utility billing, vendor selection. Our finance director, Natalie Slay, is going to run point. Thank you.
Good evening again. Outsourcing billing and printing for utilities has been discussed actually a couple of years, but as we approach and move into different locations, the town calls a temporal home for us, it become more obvious and prominent that we would like to explore this and implement to outsource the printing. To give a short summary how we do print in and mail in bills in the house today for you to understand the process better. It takes about 4 days. We order the pre-printed bills as developed and regulated by Public Service Commission with certain information on the back of the page. We then purchase a large stock of them. And currently our vendor is kind enough to store those bills or papers, pages of boxes in their warehouse in a well air-conditioned, climate-controlled facility for free. Currently, we have been notified that it will be no longer free for us to store that. We cannot store the bills inside in our town hall building, even in the current condition, because the paper absorbs the moisture, and then once we put it through the machines, the machines do not like that. They become crumbled and it become a hustle. So that's one point on that. The second point, we print currently about 3,000 bills inside the house. The number is reducing, and we're hoping the number will go down as we encourage all the citizens and residents down in Berlin to be online receiving their e-bills, which actually cuts the cost and becoming more green. Right now, the total number is close to 2,600 bills. We printed from regular printing, from the printer downstairs. Then we go through the stuffing. To stuff them into the envelopes, we purchase envelopes separately with pre-printed barcode. It's a special envelope so you cannot see the information inside, and also the barcode identifies as a bulk mailing for the post office. Our staff puts them through the machine, sorts them, then we pack them, and then one of the utility funds member carries them in the truck to the post office at Ocean City. It takes about 4 days for the whole process. Sometimes the machine, the staffing machine, that's the big, large piece of equipment downstairs, as you see when you enter, breaks in the middle because it's either overheats it and then we have to call the maintenance. This machine is leased as of right now. We also have a maintenance agreement, and it's paid quarterly. On the top of it, if we call for service, that's a separate need if there is a part or something else. So including the entirety of a process, the cost of the pages, the cost of the envelopes, the machine, the envelopes and everything else, we're running about 70 cents per page. So Linda helped me with this process. She contacted several municipalities around us and asked what do they do for utility billing or in general for the bulk mailing and printing. And we come up to a short summary, which is in our staff report here, that several municipalities have used mail movers. They're located in Salisbury, they're a local company. I have personally spoken to the representative, was very pleasant conversation, very simple process. There is no contract or commitment for the long term, it's months to months. If we decided to cancel at any time, it's up to us. Basically, doing that, we would be sending the file to the vendor. The vendor will take care of putting that on the pre-printed pages and mailing it out from Salisbury. They will utilize our existing contract with Ocean City for the postage. So the price is basically what we have will be locked in. We will be responsible for paying them for the service, but we will be also paying our postage as of right now. This will eliminate us to process everything inside the house, basically in the office. We will potentially, I can see that we will probably be canceling the stuffing machine contract. We cannot move it for one thing for right now. And secondly, we will not need such a large machine. We probably will have a little one if we have something
Like
to
a
do
wall.
in-house, just a little, a compact.
Occasionally we may have letters that need to go to a large.
So for the outsourcing billing and printing, different vendors been contacted, and we have given them the same scenario. We need a price for 3,000 bills, formatted envelopes, designed with the logo, with all the information, packaged for the bulk rate, and then mailed it out. And we also given them a term, 2 to 3 days maximum. So if you look at the package on the report, there's a little summary of it, what we have come up
Page
with.
75 of the
As a
packet.
summary, and mail movers were the kind of cheapest per page, but also their turnaround was only 1 to 3 days, and they're local in Salisbury, so they're very close. And also Ocean City, Millsboro, Georgetown, and Bethany Beach utilizes the same vendor. So tonight I'm seeking for your approval a motion to outsource printing and mailing the utility bills and use the vendor mail movers.
I think it's also important to note, Natalie, correct me if I'm wrong, because the prices that Natalie indicates here do not include staff time, including the generally.
No, I'm not
electric
including the
department
staff time, no.
To transport them to Ocean City, that kind of thing.
I agree. So the summary, like the catalyst is the renovations.
Yeah.
And the hope is that it's going to improve workflow and processes and reduce costs by trying this. And I think it's a great job pulling this together, both of you. And thank you for looking into it.
Thank you.
So that-
I have also kind of asked in the past by just going to conference, especially the Maryland conference, if other municipalities doing that in-house. And many has spoken that outsourcing is actually eliminating this hustle of doing it in-house, taking responsibility of stuffing the pages in the envelopes. Those 4 days could be utilized more efficiently to do so many more other things towards the billing, towards the metering, and helping customers in a better way. When customer right now walks in and the machine is running, you cannot hear them. It's very loud.
Natalie, what's the cost of that stuffer machine? per-
I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's about $300.
I think it runs about $1,000 a quarter.
It's $1,000 a quarter of $333 per month.
About
It's
900.
Councilmember Morris, I think, had a question.
Yeah, just real quick, in case anyone else up there has this same question, can you just please clarify why we need to travel our mail to Ocean City?
The mail is a bulk mail is acceptable only by Ocean City location.
I'm just,
It's a large mailing.
So what impact, if any, will this have on your staff and the structure and organization of your department?
That would give them extra time to do other things that is more important than standing by the machine and stuffing them in envelopes, the bills, and we will have more customer service attention. You can answer the phone without interruption because you have to pause the machine first, then answer the phone. You cannot hear it, it's always on the background. And secondly, that's going to be more efficient. They do a lot of hands-on things when you stuff the envelopes. The machine stops, they crumble. For example, Michelle sorts it out manually. She stayed on Friday till 6 o'clock, basically, flipping the pages, making sure everything is printed correctly, and counting, check-in, sort-in. So it's a lot of outdated
And
process.
then additionally, like with the transition in water and then now electric to like the AMI meters, it allows for our staff to be able to focus more on like the digital training stuff that's associated with that helps them serve the customers as well as the Tyler technology that's available.
I'm hoping that this number will go down in half once we update everything, and we will have a portal for water and a portal online for electricity meters, so people will realize getting the bill in the mail, it's out of.
And the residents can help do their part by saving money for us, which is what, about $1.10 per piece by registering for online bill pay and statements. There, yeah, I think it's there. All right, Vice President Barilla, anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay. Open it up to the public. Anything regarding motion 2025-65, approval of outsourcing utility billing? Oh, sorry, yes, Mary. Just name and street name, please.
Mary Godlewski, Westminster. Just a few questions. So the outsource, it will run about $1,050 more per month?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody like lose a position since that part of their job won't be needed anymore?
No.
And didn't we just outsource payroll? Like within the last
We have
year?
always had payroll outsourced.
No,
No, we did not do that last week.
okay.
We've outsourced our vendor, when you look at like the town budget, ADP handles our payroll.
Yeah, they have.
Yes, but when you look at the budget, there's nothing that goes past like what it was cut off at I guess it was last March. There's no yearly cost like included in that.
ADP, we
Oh.
pay monthly, we're just.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
switched it, they give you 1 week to pay, so previously we were paying via check, we would mail a check, and it wasn't ever getting there in a week, so I switched to credit card payments, so now I pay it on my town credit card, and then, so it's not showing up on the register, but it's showing
Yeah.
up on the credit card statement now.
It's showing up as a budget expense.
Yes.
But it's not showing up as a separate check.
Yeah, where it used to, so maybe that's, is that
It's
what
the same
you're
process.
referring to?
I don't think so. Because on the budget, it shows it, like I guess this was, the budget comparison report.
Mary, you make me so proud. Like, you're the most prepared citizen.
Yeah. I got it.
I don't know anybody else has got the budget with
What do you
them.
want to
So, Ms.
Really,
Mayor, just
kudos.
for you to save your page looking before we budget the full amount per year, because it's one check payment. As of right now in the budget, we break it down under contract and services, ADP cost under each individual department.
Yeah, and the way it's broken down, and if I added it up correctly, I believe it was like 58,000 or something a year to outsource the payroll expense.
Oh, no.
No.
It's, I pay about, I'm going off the cuff here, but about $900 per month.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
it's not.
So then that total, okay, so that's what I did wrong. I added it wrong because it didn't show what the previous, or, what the yearly payments were on it.
Yeah, it's about 900 some dollars per month. It varies depending on how many pay periods, how many
Yeah.
people, anything like that. But yeah, it's about 900.
Okay,
or
no,
so.
I totally.
Yeah, and it is not, it's outsourced through ADP and has been, and I've been here 9.5 years, and it has been with ADP since I've started with the town.
Okay, all right, thank you.
But we will be adding them, stuffing our checks too, but it's a very minimal, it's $14 per
Yeah.
month or something. But that just, if we're getting rid of the machine, it's just gonna make it easier. And we've had a lot of employees switch to electronic payments, which has like paperless statements.
Of the
So that has
direct
really
deposit.
helped as well. So I say 14, it's probably more like $8 a month or
Okay.
something, but yeah.
No, I
And,
totally-
but to answer your question, nobody's gonna, we're not reducing staff because we're
Okay.
outsourcing.
Well, it's
That's
important
very
to
similar.
remember that that's only a couple of
Correct.
days a month. It's not,
It's-
an entire position doing nothing that's not.
It's very similar to like water resources that used to come out and have to read each meter, and electric that is going out and reading it pen and paper. What it allows is for them to be able to address, we run a very lean staffing model. It's not uncommon for the department heads, but since we're talking about finance, to come in and say, look, I need extra personnel, and maybe a fiscal year, we likely can't accommodate adding new people, but where we can improve efficiencies like this, it's going to allow department heads like Natalie and like water resources and electric to be able to better utilize their staff.
Okay,
So-
all right, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Sandra.
All right, anything else from the public regarding motion 2025-65? Okay, take action by the council. So I have a motion by Vice President Burrell. A second by Councilmember Orris. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, let the record reflect that the vote's unanimous and passes with Councilmember Nichols absent.
Kelsey, I just.
That's okay, I don't mind. You're right, though.
You're right. Kelsey, I just have a question. Do all of our staff get their, is it direct, do all of them have direct deposit? And-
No.
So,
And we can't require it in Maryland, but yeah, they,
okay.
yeah.
Well, I don't need to go any further.
But a lot of employees have signed up for paperless pay statements, which just emails them a version of their printed pay statement, and they click the link and
I
log
did
in.
not even know that was possible.
Yeah, I would very
can do
much
that for me.
encourage you to
Yes,
do
I will
that.
do
Okay. You
It's
have to,
annoying.
you have to just set up an ADP account, and then it will email you a link.
Yeah, perfect.
Exact same thing.
All right, up next, motion 2025-66, agenda item 4F, and that's the approval of Tyler migration to the cloud, and our finance director is going to run point on this.
So the full packet contains a lot of information. After the motion, you see an agreement of several pages. I'm not expecting you to read through all of that, nor understand of the wording, because it summarizes the whole entirety of the process, what's the on-cloud of Tyler entitles to. Basically, the name of the whole entire thing, software as a service, SaaS, stands for going to a cloud. As of right now, Tyler Software, our financial software, is hosted on the server of actual physical location in the town hall behind this door. It's been like that for several years. Unfortunately, lately, we have been receiving messages that Tyler Software is not up to date for security patches and other updates. We're losing some features. We cannot preview print of a report, and they're telling us that's because we do not have current updates on the software. We have contacted our IT department contractor, and they have notified us that the server that we currently have will need to have an additional space created, and for the best of my knowledge to explain, basically creating a room, an extra room on existing server. Then we would take our software and move to that room, and then as we grow bigger or put more information in Tyler, or purchase additional modules or do more work, we probably will have to expand to another room and then move it over again. In the past, they have advised us to actually go into cloud and allow them to host all of us on the cloud. We will not have to worry about security patches or updates or run out of space or worry about if something goes wrong or something happens. It will be the Tyler software responsibility to monitor that and make sure that we're running up to date and everything is flowing correctly. So we have discussed that between TechMD, Tyler representatives, and we come up to cost for spinning a new room, moving to Tyler, or simply disconnecting from that process and going to the cloud. The benefit list of going to a cloud is much larger, but the cost will be additionally $16,000 a year. Fortunately, as of right now, we have additional monies on the budget because we agreed to purchase 2 new modules which will cover asset management and planning and zoning department issuance of orders and permits, because we were unsure of the cost and training, so we have a little bit of cushion. If we go with the option to go to the cloud, they will give us a credit for what we have paid as of right now for the full year of the software agreement as we are on the server. So the additional cost will be $60,000 prorated from the date we will start, and then we will budget correctly for the next year. If we stay on the server and continue moving from room to room, that's one-time cost, which I call it sunk cost because you paid and it goes away. It's $10,100 for one time, and then we still have to pay additional annual cost. So my ask of you, Mayor Council, to approve to migrate the Tyler software completely be on the cloud for 2 reasons. A, we will have more benefits of security patches. We will not have to worry about monitoring the updates by ourselves or our IT department. And secondly, the new modules that we are purchasing, they have to be on the cloud. There is no any other option. So right now we kind of break in the process in 2. Part we will be running on cloud, and part, if we continue being old way, will stay on the server. The only thing I want to add here is going on the cloud, we will have to do a little different step for the credit card processing, which I'm not discussing that tonight, but I will come back to you at the later terms. We probably will likely to be going with the Tyler processing and changing the current vendor because they're not compatible with the on-cloud solutions. But that's at the later terms.
You'll also, in addition to what Natalie said, you'll recall maybe, I don't think in the public side, but in the executive summary and the information that was shared with all of us, the council action moving forward with Bulletproof for IT and cybersecurity. One of their recommendations was to migrate this to the cloud. So it is consistent with that.
I'm sorry, not cybersecurity, but when we did the IT audit.
So I remember a couple budgets ago, we had a very lengthy discussion up here about servers. So I'm not understanding this correctly. This will help us in the future not necessarily need more servers. Right, because it's going to be a cloud.
We will probably need a server to do our local backups, but we will not have to have an extensive server to host the software, yes.
What does those local backups consist of?
Every single year, once we close the year, everything gets backed. All the data that entered through the year gets backed to a server, what will happen, it would be all hosted by Tyler, and they will be responsible for containing all this information.
Backups would include our local files,
Local files.
yeah, letters and bid documents, just everyday documents that we get.
Is Tyler the largest software program you have on the server currently?
Yes.
It has its own dedicated server. Now, so like, yeah, just for clarification purposes, the one that was on the budget is separate and aside from the Tyler servers that we're talking about now. They're not the same. Right?
So we
One's
have,
here, one's there.
TACMD has their own service for what they do for daily transactions that we do for files, in-house files. And then we also have Tyler software, which is ran parallel.
So
separately,
is there a
but-
cost reduction in the tech side for not having to deal with this anymore?
I think server-wise, to
Because you don't need
maintain
the-
that,
you don't need the
yes.
server.
I don't.
The software
Yes,
for
the
that,
software
yeah.
to back up our software to the server, definitely I would like to see the reduction in cost for the future, yeah.
And she was saying, just like the capital cost that you would need, each time you need to update that server is like 10 grand plus.
Yeah.
So, the other thing, how quickly can they make the transition?
If you would agree to that today, I will provide the motion approval, and we would probably, I'm hoping to be on cloud before we move to the new location, so we don't have to carry the server.
Well, the reason.
Consideration, we're talking earlier about the electric challenges.
Of course, you can't plug it in.
But the reason I say that is we've talked about vulnerabilities tonight. I just would like us to not waste time making that shift since we have had a public discussion about some vulnerabilities. So as quickly as possible.
So being on the cloud with Tyler will allow us to utilize more of their features and more parts of their program.
According to their statement, we should be going faster and more efficient. The locations, I will give example, Jimmy sometimes would call me and say, my Tyler is spinning.
Fisher likes to talk about starting Tyler and taking a walk around the building.
That should
making a
go
cup of
away.
coffee and.
That'll go away.
That should go away because we will no longer be, what happens right now from the remote locations, they have to talk to this door first before it goes back to their laptops. That should go away.
User friendly.
Natalie, sometimes the programs are different between what's online and what you use on the desktop, especially Futures. QuickBooks is a classic example.
I'm aware.
Mine isn't as comprehensive as the desktop version.
It will not change
It
the
won't.
look, it will not change anything, it will just change the way, the speed, the amount of information will be pushed, will be
Yeah.
faster, and they will be responsible for all of the updates, upgrades, security. So if I call and say my AP is lacking, I shouldn't be calling for that any longer. Because sometimes I call, I'll give you an example, I call pretty much every Thursday to reboot the server because Tyler will not talk to the server any longer because TACMD ran an update and Tyler doesn't like it. So that's my thing.
Yeah. Biggest concern would be internet speed. If the internet gets bogged down somewhere.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much, we cannot
You
get
can't
rid of
control
that, yeah, we can't
Right.
control that.
Right.
All right. Anything else for Natalie? If not, we'll open it up to the public regarding motion 2025-66. Seeing none, we'll take action.
Motion to approve.
A motion by Councilmember Orts, second by Councilmember Nara. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, let the record reflect the vote unanimous with Councilmember Nichols absent. Motion 2025-66 passes. Up next is agenda item, thank you. Agenda item 5, a presentation regarding the Eagle Scout Nature Trail walking bridges, and Parker Gill is going to join us.
MVP for the long wait.
Yeah, getting ready to say, he requested to be later on the agenda. I'm
Almost
sorry.
wondered.
Yep, he did. When I saw the agenda, I said, why do we have him not there? He's going to be viewing this for a long time, but you had requested to go toward the end. Sorry that we're running a little more than an hour behind. But
First off, I want to thank you all, Mayor Tyndall and council members. So I am Parker Gill, member of Troop 261 of Ocean City, Maryland, and I've recently completed my Eagle Scout project of repairing the 2 bridges in the Nature Walk part of Stevie Decatur Park off Tripoli Street, I believe.
Yep, you were correct. Great job.
And I just request your signature that it was finished to the town's satisfactory. Have a paper, I don't know.
Hand it to Mr. Green, and I'll sign it for you once you get done with your presentation. And then, do you want to talk about the work that you did?
I would gladly do that.
Go ahead.
So I did bring a couple before and after pictures. Want to pass those up too?
Go forward.
That's
Good. I just wanted to make sure I'm signing. I looked at him and said, "You're good with the work, right?"
Absolutely.
He said, "Yes." So I'm signing your paper, but go ahead, keep going. buddy.
Thank you. So
It does look great. I just want to make sure he was okay with it.
So those pictures are mostly of the first bridge, like if you take the right after entering the walk, those are mostly of the first bridge, heading right or counterclockwise. And so, yeah, what we did is we stripped them down to the foundation that was really holding them there. If I remember correctly, there was 7 long beams going across the ditches, and we built back the bridges to a blueprint I brought the first time. I do not believe I have it with me today, we rebuilt the bridges with new wood, and in the process we made them roughly 6 inches wider because the town wished to be able to get things like mowers through and other pieces of equipment, so we made them a bit wider while still making them safe and walkable.
How long did it take you?
So the building took us 2.5 8-hour days, so it was about 20 hours of hands-on labor in total. But gathering resources, getting signatures, filling out paperwork, it probably was another maybe 15 hours, so 35 hours in total roughly.
Well, thank you for picking Stevie Decatur Park to do that.
They desperately needed
It
it.
did.
They did.
I saw it on the pumpkins in the park.
Have you ever built anything like this before?
I've never led something like this. I've helped with other Eagle Scout projects in the past, like the duck blinds. A member of my troop did duck blinds that are now an
Build duck
absentee.
blinds?
That was
Might be a side gig for you, buddy.
That was the Eagle Scout project. So I helped with that. I helped build a bounce back down in Snow Hill for Snow Hill High School for kids to kick and throw balls against for practice, mostly for soccer. And those are really the only woodworking, I guess you could say, projects I've done in the past. So this is the first time I've ever led a project anything like this.
That is something we are missing. I know as the Eagle Scouts, they sometimes ask for projects, like the ball bounce backs is a good idea for a future project. Because we don't have that in a lot of.
I'll pass it on to the troop.
Well, I mean, they ask sometimes, so I want Kate to make sure.
Yeah, I think
Go
part of
ahead.
actually our second Eagle Scout project that we've had this year so far. We had the free library done a couple months ago, and then Park came before the Parks Commission for approval to do bridges.
Cody and Public Works assisted, they did a great job. I stopped a couple times, but I didn't mean to micromanage, so I was. But the guys, the whole crew out there, he had some friends and family out that assisted, and we had a couple Public Works, we helped clean up, and it was a great project, very successful, very pleased.
Not only for the repair of the bridge, you had the sensitivity of the town needs to realize that the bridge needed to be widened by 6 inches to allow town equipment usage, and I think that's a very good point.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you. You've been here for a while. Hold on. We're going to get a picture together, and I'll give you your signed piece of paper. Thank you.
How old are you ready to go to school?
I am currently 15 and I go
We'll set this
to,
right here. We'll get that in the end. Come on over here for a second.
and I currently go to Stevie Decatur High School. I'm a sophomore.
Stephen Decatur High School. I graduated from Stephen Decatur as well.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Council.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us so long as well.
Thank you for doing this.
And do you want to introduce mom and dad?
No.
They kind of play an important part in all this. Go ahead, your mom and dad introduce.
Mom, Dad.
That's your official name, Dad.
Jeremy and Margaret Gill.
Dr. Margaret.
Yeah, we're at Atlantic General, and the town has been fantastic. Big kudos and thank you to Kate and Cody and the Parks and Rec Department, was worked really well with him and all the boys. They did it really wonderful. And your town, Atkins Lumber donated, Home Depot donated, everyone stepped forward and made this happen for him, and he learned a lot, so thank you.
Thank you. Both of you should be very proud. So,
Yeah.
thank you. Good job. All right, up next, town administrators report and the departmentals that are in the packet.
A couple of things, just a reminder that most town offices are closed tomorrow in observance of Veterans Day. And along those lines, you will notice a lot of green lights throughout the town. That's related to the proclamation that was done at the last meeting, green in recognition of veterans. Tim took care of that. And Kelsey and I will be out of the office on Thursday at the legit annual meeting in Annapolis. Jimmy also had just something he wanted to cover.
So we had bulk pickup last week for the Tuesday, Wednesday route, so we had 60 stops we made. I don't have the tonnage, but we did through about 4 hours through town and got all the bulk pickup. And tomorrow, Wednesday will be the second bulk pickup, and that'll be for the Thursday route. So we have, I think, 20 submissions so far for that.
Did this start paid or was?
This was the last free bulk pickup.
So now, when you look at the tonnage and what we would realize for like the revenue side designed to offset that, are we kind of close with where we are on the fees or?
I think we are.
Okay, good. All right.
We're very close to where we want to be.
Perfect.
And then we did have some, I think we had 5 or 6 in September, right after we did initially it. And then I think we had 6 or 7 in October. So people were calling, didn't want to wait, they paid, and we were able to go around and collect them, their supply, or what they wanted to do.
It's a nice service. I mean, when you think about how much you'd pay to get a dump sticker.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, not wanting to wait, that's mission accomplished, right?
And the way the system, they come in, they pay, and then we come around on the second Wednesday, and it worked out very well.
good job, Jim. Anything else for Jimmy or for Mary? Or any other the departmentals that are in the back?
I was going to wait till the comments to do this, but since it kind of came up here. So yard waste is coming up next month, and when we talked before about the bulk waste, the bulk pickup fee program last time, some residents expressed to me that they tend to need yard waste pickup more often than bulk. So I was just wondering and throwing it out for the group if we could, and discussion for staff and come back with a recommendation, please. If we could maybe in 26 or fiscal year 27, however that works out, if we could maybe alternate or provide an option for more bulk yard pickups. Now you know me, I'm a data guy, so in terms of the fee for the yard, depending on what your recommendation is, I'd like to see if we can get a year's worth of data before we talk about a fee for the yard pickup.
So what we talked about last time was potentially getting, and other municipalities have this, I think it's like a quarter can, right? It's like a much smaller container, and it's just yard waste. And we could disperse those out to folks that want to pick them up on a regular rotation.
Okay.
It might not be as frequently. We talked about this when we
I don't recall
discussed the bulk pickup fee.
Okay.
That that would buy those cans, and we issue those during the season, and then we collect them back, and then you can reissue them for a fee. And that would hopefully help cover the pickup. And
So that was in discussion.
we discussed it last time.
With yard waste, I would say it's gonna be very similar to the bulk pickup, and then with probably the same type of fee. Because even with yard waste, no matter whether it's yard waste or bulk pickup, we're still bringing a crew with trucks to pick up that debris. So some of the debris we can manage to our own locations, but some of that debris still needs to go to the landfill. So if they had example, a couple bundles of sticks or something, it would probably end up just being the same as a bulk pickup for the convenience.
And the cans would be smaller too, because keep in mind, like if you ever are doing yard work, right, and you really feel how heavy you can get within just a small amount of stuff, the likelihood of us using the arm to pick that up, you're not doing that. So it's going to be picked up manually. So keep in mind the can would be smaller, but hopefully pick up more frequent.
But it is very important to not include that yard waste in your regular household.
Right. It will mess up the arm.
Correct. It gets dirt all through the arm and in the compactor, and that causes a slide issue where it doesn't work efficiently, just compact the truck. So yes, we watch that, and we have been seeing a little bit of yard waste the last couple of weeks, because it's that time of year, everyone's cleaning off the pots off their porch and that type of stuff. So it's always recommended that we stay on, the trash is for residential household trash.
Yeah.
Right, and I didn't mean to confuse the two, but that's a great point.
We also need to talk about multiple cans. We've discussed that previously, and we've kicked that can, but.
I was hoping to propose something, say, April or March, or March or April, and then we look at it starting fiscal year
27.
26.
26.
Sorry. No, well,
Starting.
starting in July of 26.
Which is fiscal year 27.
It's okay. Always think about the end.
I'm worried about the first date, not the second. But yes, I'd like to maybe propose something early next year, and then we'll look at, I was coming up with some ideas about the second and third cans.
Yeah, because the tipping fees, if you watch them, they're just going up, and really that's.
It is unusual to not be charged for a second
It is
can.
very
Most-
unusual.
Yeah, I would say I.
So it'll be a
see-
one-time fee for the extra can?
What's that?
The thought process of one-time can?
Yeah, you already pay a one-time fee. What you're not paying is for the stuff you stuff in it that every other
Right.
taxpayer.
Oh, no, I hear you.
And then I was looking at too, maybe, and I just kind of floated, maybe we can add something into, like when they get the quarterly billing, if you have second, third, fourth cans, you have a charge for that second, third, whether it's a couple bucks. I have an idea, but I'll share that later.
That's fine, yeah.
And then what we'll look at is, that way we can pick up that trash, it's not extra trash, but it's trash that's not being accounted for in the fee process. Because right now, you pay, if you buy a second or third can, say you have 3 cans, you have second, you purchase the price of the can, which is $100. In that range, it's like $100. But you're not really paying for the volume of the can each week.
But the reality is, as with so many things, if I have 3 cans and my neighbor has 1, my neighbor's helping pay for my extra 2 cans.
Subsidize it, yeah.
Yeah. Through their tax dollars.
And it's not cheap. So, all right. Thank you, and let's move on to comments from the public. Anyone that would like to address the mayor and council?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead. The name and street name, please.
Can I do it from here to going up there?
I'd prefer you come up here if you don't mind. It's just easier for the folks that got it jotted down in a minute. And those that are watching at home.
Mary Hidlesky, Westminster Drive. There was a post on social media about the chairs for the events. It's twice a year. It's for the Christmas parade and for the bathtub races. I don't have a problem with the policy itself and the reasons behind it, but it's very unfair. We have businesses who leave items outside, clothes hanging up, signs, things like that, that will go flying around in the wind. We also, thank you for addressing the ADA compliant stuff, thank you. The other thing is that some people who don't live in town were saying that it was unfair, it was a fairness thing. And that's not true. If anybody really wants to go put a chair out, they can go. There's nothing that says this is only for residents only. But I just find that sometimes in town, we make these policies that it's like, okay, since you're just a resident, we're going to enforce this, we're going to target you, we're going to enforce this against you, but we're going to allow businesses to do it. And it's just not right. It's two times a year where we allow businesses to go 365 days a year doing the same kind of stuff. And I'm not saying it's a good idea to tell businesses, you guys need to move your stuff or you can't do this, because I think it would hurt them. But I think it's very unfair when you sit there and you say, residents, you have to do it, but businesses, you do not. And I heard more about that, I think, than anything else I've ever dealt with being on Rehard, and I'm like, this is insane. But anyway, I figured I would just let you guys know. That was my feeling. And Jay, thank you. Thank you for reaching out.
Mary, I was going to bring this up too, so I'm glad you did. My question is, we had this long-standing policy or law that's been on the books forever, but never been enforced for whatever reason. But all of a sudden it gets enforced. So why all of a sudden did that happen? Who made that decision? And also, why wasn't the council involved in that decision? Because it's a little frustrating to hear all these comments, get calls, and people are saying, why did you do this? And the council had no knowledge of it. And it just makes us look foolish.
So I hear you on that. What stemmed, the stem of this really was last year, we had some folks in wheelchairs that could not access or move about on the sidewalks in Berlin. With that being said, we do have a responsibility to make sure that they remain ADA compliant. I spoke to Mary offline at Lesky to say that you're not entirely wrong about the sandwich boards, right? You brought up the point about like the tables and the sandwich boards and the apparel and stuff that is outside on the sidewalks. You're not wrong, right? It does produce bottlenecks on a day-to-day basis. I've asked Mary and the planning department to look at where those exist, right? And to really make sure that our sidewalks are accessible, right? Now, with that being said, the complaint stemmed from the chairs from the Christmas parade, and then they were also blowing into the street multiple times. The Public Works had to go out there and then set them back up in what they thought was the appropriate place. So it was creating a lot of trouble. Now, when you and I talked, we talked about like the nostalgia of Berlin. I've talked to other folks about that too. And yes, it does feel like home seeing the chairs lined up along Main Street. But we also have to be cognizant that we have a responsibility to make sure that those sidewalks are ADA compliant. And that the chairs are not ending up in the street like they have been. So I hear you with your frustrations. I hear you're fielding the comments. But really, staff took the feedback that we were hearing from the public side about accessibility, and then also their experiences in having to go back out there multiple times a day to pick them up, and drafted that policy that was pushed out with the idea of trying to get that in front of folks early on so that they can plan accordingly.
Well, and in all fairness, with that being said, it's like you're saying now, okay, so businesses can take up the sidewalks with obstacles, with chairs, planters, benches, whatever it is, but if residents want to do it twice a year to put a chair out, they can't. And I'm sorry, that's one of the quirky things that makes Berlin, Berlin. And in the whole scheme of things, I realize this is not some major thing. But I've seen clothes, those.
I'm not disputing that. And what I'm saying is that our sidewalks should be accessible.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that's the only thing I'm saying.
But maybe twice a year the businesses could pull some of that stuff inside so the chairs can be placed out for the parade and the bathtub races. But the thing is, this policy was just posted, there was no discussion about it, and it was just one of those things that I think just kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, just because, you're telling, again, residents are being told, you can't do this, but we're going to allow businesses to do it.
Well, one thing, chairs will be allowed, we're just asking at 5 PM.
After roads.
Yeah.
After 5 PM.
But,
But 2, 3 in the afternoon.
7
they're-
o'clock
10 o'clock in the morning.
They're a headache. And
but, and I understand, and I understand that. But at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, what you're asking for, that's when people are showing up with floats, kids are being dropped off. It's like mass confusion without throwing in that these chairs being dropped off. And you've got 365 days a year where businesses are allowed to leave stuff out. A lot of time, I took a whole bunch of pictures, like it's, 7 o'clock in the morning. Nothing was open, but all this stuff was still blocking the sidewalk. But you're telling residents 2 times a year that they can't put a chair out?
But Mary, hold on one second, just
Okay.
for clarity, we're not, you're not getting staff saying that, yes, the sandwich board should be out. You're not
Oh,
getting
no,
staff,
no, no,
I want to
no,
clarify that.
yeah,
Like,
You're right.
they are saying that in conjunction with everything that's already there,